What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And as many of you guys may know that watch this channel, the Los Angeles Clippers are currently down 2-0 to the Dallas Mavericks. So what I want to do today is I want to go over what I believe that the Los Angeles Clippers need to come back in the series. And I'd also like to talk about the Dallas Mavericks for a little bit. So without any more waiting, let's get straight into the video. So the first thing I want to talk about when it comes to the Los Angeles Clippers team is how underwhelming their defense has actually been. Back in 2019, when this team was constructed, they were projected to have the best defensive backcourt since Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, and they just have been very underwhelming since then. But to be fair, they have shown glimpses over the past 2 years of being one of the best defensive backcourts, but it's not showing in this series at all, and that's unfortunate. Obviously, Luka Doncic is going to be Luka. In Game 1, he had 31 points. He had a triple-double. In Game 2, he had 39 points, shooting 16 of 29, I believe. And that's just unacceptable when we have supposedly one of the best defensive backcourts the league has ever seen. And obviously, we can't be too upset about Luka Doncic getting his because he is the next face of the franchise. But what's the most aggravating about this Los Angeles Clippers defense is how they're allowing the Dallas Mavericks role players to get involved on the scoreboard. Dorian Finney-Smith has been big for him. I remember in Game 1, I think he had 5 threes total for that game. And Tim Hardaway Jr. in Game 1 had 21 points. In Game 2, Tim Hardaway Jr. had 28 points. And it's not just the points that the role players are contributing, it's the efficiency and how efficient the role players actually are is what's making this Los Angeles Clippers defense look bad. Because when you look at the percentages for both Game 1 and Game 2 for the Dallas Mavericks shot 50% from the field in Game 1. And then in Game 2, they shot almost 60% from the field in Game 2. And that's just unheard of. And a lot of that has to do with the Los Angeles Clippers leaving the Dallas Mavericks role players open. So if the Clippers want to come back in this series, the first thing they're going to have to do is start closing out on the three-point shooters. Because if the Clippers even halfway tried to play defense, I guarantee the intimidation factor would come in and they wouldn't be shooting almost 60% from the fucking field. So that pretty much wraps up what I think they should do differently defensively. So for the next thing that needs to change for the Los Angeles Clippers is going to have to be their rotation. Because there's no reason Serge Ibaka should only be getting 6 minutes a game when he's easily the most versatile big man defender on the Los Angeles Clippers. Because if you guys have been watching the games, Zubac has been getting torched by everybody. He's been getting lit up by Luka. He's been getting exploited off the pick and roll. And there's no reason Terrence Mann shouldn't be getting any minutes when he was one of the more solid backup point guards for the Los Angeles Clippers. And also, Luke Kennard is getting paid $64 million over the next 4 years to get a DNP in the playoffs. Like, let that sink in that Luke Kennard is making $16 to $18 million a year just to sit on the bench in the playoffs. So, I mean, I don't know what Tyronn Lue's thinking, but something has to change ASAP if they want to try to win this series. And that's pretty much all I have to say about the rotation. So for the final topic I want to talk about when it comes to the Los Angeles Clippers is their overall scoring and also what I think they should do a little bit different in this series to come back. So, as a lot of people know, the Los Angeles Clippers are the top tier three-point shooting team in the league right now. I don't know the exact percentage off the top of my head, but they are leading the league in three-point percentage and also leading the league in three-point shots made. And they're also, I believe, one of the top 3 free throw shooting teams in the league. But with all that being said, I feel like they should try to take advantage of the Dallas Mavericks being 29th overall in the league defensively at rim protection. So with that being said, I believe that the Clippers should start trying to attack the rim more and try to get easier buckets. And even if they can't get the easier buckets, I feel like if they can somehow try to draw contact while getting to the basket, that's just easy extra points right there at the free throw line. You know what I'm saying? But with all that being said, that's pretty much what I believe the Los Angeles Clippers need to change in order to come back in the series. It's still far from over. The only problem is the Dallas Mavericks play their next 2 games at home, so the Clippers are going to have to come out with a different mentality and try to win these 2 games at home to come back to LA to try to finish off the series. But with all that being said, I'd like to move on to what I believe the Dallas Mavericks are doing correctly, because they deserve a lot of props. A lot of people might try to clown the Clippers on social media and be like, "Oh, their defense isn't playing that well," and blah blah blah, and this and that. But a lot of people need to start showing respect to Luka Doncic, man. He's a 22-year-old just toying with us. You know what I'm saying? It's sad, but it's impressive. You know what I'm saying? Luka Doncic is definitely one of the top tier players in the league, and in my opinion, I think he's going to be the face of the league once LeBron exits the NBA into retirement. So, with all that being said, that's pretty much my final thoughts on the first 2 games of the Los Angeles Clippers versus the Dallas Mavericks series. If you guys have any other different opinions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and let me know what your favorite team is and who you're rooting for in the playoffs. So, until next time, y'all, peace.